Hello again. Another talking video. Maybe this one will be shorter. I'm kind of hoping it will be. I have a message for anyone who's done this. So it's kind of going to continue on from the Chantal video I made yesterday. The reason, for those who don't know about everything before that, Chantal always had this thing for guys. Like, she always had to be with a guy, and for some time she'd always be with a guy, and it would go well. Her most successful time was with a guy she nicknamed Bibi. B-I-B-I. It's part of an Arabic word. She nicknamed him Bibi, and they did well for like 7 years. Well, I think the only reason it went 7 years was because Bibi put up with her, and then finally he threw in the towel and said, I can't do this anymore, because he'd open her closets up and he'd find food boxes. She has a horrible, horrible, horrible addiction to food. And I don't just mean, it's mostly processed fast food, right? We all, that is the worst food to have a problem with. The worst food. Because they literally have a formula so that people come back for it. But anyway, so Bibi got frustrated with her hiding the food boxes. I guess her defiance got to him. I mean, she's very defiant. Okay? So if somebody says, don't do this, she'll do it. Don't go here, she'll go there. Don't go there, she'll go there. Don't say that, she'll say it. And I get defiance to a certain extent. But these are things like, don't say that word, it implies this. And you can explain all you want how it implies that. She'll still say the word. Don't say this word because you could get banned off YouTube. She'll still say it. Yeah, she'll say it. Don't talk about that, you'll get banned off YouTube. She'll say it. So Bibi must have learned that side of her pretty quick. Or at least as the years went on, she got worse. I don't know, one or the other. So then, for a long time up until that point, she lived with a friend she'd had in school. She nicknamed him Pete's. It was a little bit sad when I learned what the nickname actually was from. He would eat pizza, and I don't know if it was just the fact he ate pizza all the time, pepperoni pizza, and he'd get the sauce on his face, or if it was just that he ate pizza all the time. I don't know. Don't remember. But she'd call him Pizza Face. And I guess the name Pete's stuck. So she ended up going back with, and the fact is, she kind of cheated on Bibi with Pete's. Bibi, I think, was going to be the love of her life. She was hoping anyway. And for 7 years, they managed to pull it off. And he put up with her for 7 years. Bibi, you're a strong man. Because at least, you put up with a lot. Not many men, I don't know. It's usually like the women who try to keep the man for longer. I don't know, maybe it was Chantal that was probably trying to implement certain things. But it never lasted with BB. She eventually cheated on, and she cheated on Pete with BB too. So, because she and Pete's kind of had a thing going, and they were even engaged at one point. Cheated on him. Now, you'll see where I'm going with all of this. It might be a longer video than I was intending. But, so, then, after BB and Pete's, well, she's still living with Pete's at this time. And she meets this one guy. I forget. I think he was actually supposed to be like a fan of hers. And they were going to actually get together and meet because they lived in the same, either the same town or he was coming down there. I don't know. But anyway, he was going to come see her. And they were going to meet and have coffee or something together. And immediately, after meeting this guy, Frank, what's his name? After meeting him, things went way out of control. And then she started going guy crazy again. So though she lived a good year or so with Pete's. Then after Frank, she started looking for guys. And so she then went in search on Tinder, started finding these guys, and out pops Nodder. His name was Nodder. For a time, she just called him Dom. She was able to go visit him. And because he didn't live that far, it was only probably about half an hour away from her. Dom got her into some crazy stuff. I'll call him Nodder now that, we all know his name. Nodder got her into some stuff. She did a bunch of illegal substances. Just smoked stuff, snorted stuff. Yeah. She never injected them. She smoked it and snorted it. There's even a stream she did. I don't know who has the recap. I think a channel called Just Saying. She has a recap of the stream where Chantal goes off to use the bathroom, right? She didn't mute the mic. Sometimes she would, but this time she didn't. And then you hear this, and then it almost sounds like blowing her nose, but we knew she'd been doing drugs at that point. And so what we heard was actually her snorting it. Yeah, because when she came back, her eyes were just blown out of her head. So she started into that stuff, and she chose to do it. Okay, she could have easily just said, she could have easily even just turned that down. She wouldn't have even had to have left. She could have if she wanted to. She chose to do those things along with him. Those things. It was like, yeah. And now, also at this point, she actually started losing weight. And at that time, she was also on Ozempic. She lost a bunch of weight. Granted, it wasn't healthy. It wasn't a good idea. But you know how that stuff is. Ozempic doesn't make it makes you not want to eat, and, it makes you not eat. Even the, like, she didn't even have to do, because some stuff she smoked, we believe it was meth. and she had this thing with weed. She speedballed a bunch of stuff. And like weed gummies were the worst. And she still does those to this day. Still. And they frig her up. And her talk like she can't get a word out. And your mouth gets all like that. And you can hear that like pastiness in her mouth. Anyway, that's how she talks when she does the weed. So she'd speedball stuff because she knew that everything she was taking and doing wouldn't let her sleep otherwise. And on top of that, she needed a CPAP. Let all of that sink in, guys. A CPAP. You're smoking all this stuff, doing these drugs, you need a CPAP. She was still on the 300s when she got down to her lowest weight. But she'd been the lowest she'd been in a long time. Everybody could see it. And now, after all of that, Nodder was like, you know what? You're too crazy for me. I don't want this. I don't want this woman, forcing herself onto me. Like, you'll do what I say. I don't want a woman like that. So he goes into her chat one day and pulls out he finds this woman in her chat. They nickname her Dee Dee Lulu. Well, her username rather is Dee Dee Lulu. She swoops in. Next thing they know, they're together and Chantal is going ballistic. Ballistic. She can't take it anymore. So she has to so she kind of has to start pulling it off like, well, if Nodder's not going to have his way with me, then I'm going to go find another guy. Because I have it like that. She doesn't have it like that. And at this point, she started putting on the weight again. Because she was never allowed to go see him. I'm not even going to get into all the crap with Nodder other than that. But there's other crap going on with Nodder. If you guys want to explore all of that, you can look up all the recap channels and stuff like that. Get a rough idea. And why am I bringing all of this up? It's to emphasize something. She wants that picture-perfect relationship. And she thinks that now, with her situation in Kuwait, she's got it with Salah. You don't have it, girl. Even Salah, you can tell in the streams, he only wants you to... and the way you act around him, it's cringy. I don't even think you were acting that atrocious with Nodder in comparison. Like, this is just, what the freak is this? All of this to say, don't go into a relationship if I don't even know the guy. You need to get to know the guy first, okay? The reason I got a boyfriend so quickly was because I already had some level of familiarity with this other guy. So when my ex broke up with me, at the time, when it first happened, I was like, well, okay, that's it. I'm going to be a loner then. Because I planned my future with him. This was 15 years in the making. Only to find out the only reason he wanted to be with me was so he could get in my pants. Not happening, bitch. Anyway, sorry. I had to swear there. And I'm not monetized, so I'm not going to lose money. Anyway, sorry, foodie. Suck on it. Oh, and even if I get a job, I still won't be making any more money on the side, girl. Because I'll get a job that I will be willing to keep. If I can't keep the job, I'll deal with it when it happens. But anyways, my point being is, I only got into a relationship as quickly as I did because that other guy and I, we really actually got along. We hit it off in so many ways. We talked so much, connected on such a deep level. It was amazing. So we were just so happy. Everything, we were just happy to talk. We were just happy to, be around each other. And it's through one of the incidences that was going on in the building with another tenant that my boyfriend finally comes up to me and he goes, well, I hear you're on the market for a boyfriend. And I've been on the market for quite some time for a girlfriend. He said that. And immediately, I was like, yes, we should try this. We should definitely try it. And so far, so good. We've had a couple of misunderstandings, but that was all it ever was. What is supposed to happen, though, is you're supposed to be in a stable mind. And I was accepting already that, well, if I do find another guy, because I was prepared to never have a guy again. If that was what it took. I was willing to accept that. Some people aren't, and that's why they get these rebound people. Chantal is one of those people. Salah is a rebound person. He was the after-naughter guy. She was desperate to find another guy. See, I wasn't desperate to find another guy. It just kind of clicked in, and I'm like, well, I would love to try and have a family in the future. I mean, yeah, this guy, I need a guy in my life, and I'd rather do it naturally. I should consider this. I should. And so and we've just let everything fall where they went. And yeah. The thing with relationships, for those who don't really understand it all that much, is you have to be willing to just let everything click into place naturally. Because if you don't, then you could say the wrong thing and get someone really upset. That's why all of these stupid, I thought you loved me, I thought you this, and I thought you that, that's why you see a lot of that. You can't go wanting a, what do you call it? Romantic, one of those stupid movie type fantasies. You can't. It's not gonna work out. It never will. Those never have. They never have. In the movies, maybe they do. They're embarrassing. They're cringy. I don't want a guy going like, oh, baby, I want to hold you every night. I want to talk. I want to just make sweet, sweet love. And bleh. Get off me, bro. I want a guy that's like, if ever you need to talk, I'm here for you. If ever you feel alone, I'm here for you. Type of thing, right? I like guys like that are even just willing to let me talk, to just be with me, to, and for us to enjoy each other's company. That's all I really want out of a relationship, is for us to actually, get to that point where we actually are able to, like, marrying doesn't take 2 weeks. I will say that, Chantal. You don't marry someone in 2 weeks. This has been months. in the making. And even still, I don't know when my boyfriend and I will actually get engaged or whatever. I don't know. We don't know if, because I don't look that far into the future, because right now I'm focused on keeping what we have. And I'm happy with where we are right now. We've planned it out. If it happens, we're ready. If something changes and we actually want that, we want that change, and we want to do something about that, make that change, we will. We'll do everything in our power to change, to make that work. But I'm not gonna force myself onto him. He'd never force himself onto me. He'd never force himself. I'd never force myself. I don't force anything. We have a lot of similar principles. That's the other thing. But you have to be willing to talk through all of that and actually have proper relationship advice for one another. Like with Chantal, it was just, I won't let that happen to you again. I love you, and I want you to know that I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna do all of the stuff for you. I'm gonna make sure you get all of this and all of that. If my boyfriend ever said that kind of stuff to me, I'd be like, what? What happened to you? Yes, I want my boyfriend to love me. But I don't want him to be doing things that he either feels forced to do, or that, like, if I suddenly felt like he was like just this weird acting protective, then I might get a little bit, okay. There's like a protectiveness side, sure, but this would be a whole new level, right? I might not even be describing it correctly. But we can't, relationships don't work like they do in movies. They don't. They just don't. Mm-mm. It's okay to have misunderstandings. But this, what Chantal's doing, it's more than misunderstandings. Girl, we know what he's up to behind the scenes. I can't help but hear that No Madness Life, she's got these toys that she uses whenever like we talk about Salah. She'll either take, it's a weird kung fu poo thing where you like you hear like the buttons, when you hit the buttons you're, and then as you hear the punches you hear, I don't know what they're called, but she just calls it kung fu poo. And it was funny, or yeah, something like that. It like throws punches and then you hear the fart noise. And then she has another thing. It's like, it's a pickle and it yodels. It's funny. Every time we see Salah, that's what we see. That's what she does. Well, not every time, but a lot of the time. We know what he's doing behind the scenes, and then she'll pull those up. So, Chantal, you can say, prove it all you want. But we already know. Because your story about your friend cheating on you, or on her husband, rather, cheating on her husband, or what was it? No, it was a boyfriend. She said her friend had a boyfriend that cheated on her, and oh my gosh, I can't even keep my words straight. This story's it's like mumbo jumbo. So Chantal claimed, now this was in Kuwait when she did this live. She did a live. She was sitting outside. I think she was drinking her coffee thing. And she was telling this story about a friend of hers where her boyfriend cheated on her. And it was when her boyfriend was in the shower that she checked her phone, checked the boyfriend's phone, and was like, she could see all these weird pictures of like women. Chantal, you don't have any friends in Kuwait. You don't really have many friends now in Canada either. We know you're trying to hide the fact that that was you, honey bun. It was you. You had the boyfriend in the shower. Because let's be real, he's not actually husband. Boyfriend. You had the boyfriend in the shower. You were the one checking his phone. And you saw those women in his messages. And you were asking, what should I do? You seemed awfully desperate to know. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that it was you, girl. When I heard it, when I actually heard the tone and the way that the story was being, I was immediately like, okay, there has to be a reason why. And a lot of reaction channels were like, we know you're talking about yourself, girl. And I was like, I gave it some thought, and I was like, yeah, definitely. That's the only logical explanation. She doesn't have any friends in Kuwait, and doesn't have very many friends left in Canada, if any at all. The only friend I know of is Pete's, and I think Pete's, even though he wanted to, I don't think he went through with it in the end, because from what it sounds like, I haven't heard any updates on that, so I guess he didn't end up going through it after all. But he was saying how he wanted to transition to a girl. He didn't do that. Hasn't taken the steps to transition. Pete's likes other girls. As from what I've seen anyway. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he likes guys too. Don't know. But I know for a fact he likes being with girls mostly. If he's going to have a relation with someone, it should be a girl. So that story wouldn't work because if it was Pete's, because Pete's is a guy who likes girls. So that story definitely wouldn't work. Now, is it a girl that maybe Pete's is interacting with? I don't know. We that's the whole thing. I think she would have at least said, it was someone Pete's knew. If she had said that, the story might have a little more merit. But the fact she just said she lived in Canada, or something to that effect. I think she said something like she lived in Canada, or lives in Canada, or something like that. And I'm like, okay. Who are you talking about? Who exactly are you talking about here? How come you're not saying who? Because you've told us your friends. You've even said names. Granted, not the full name, but you've said names. Right? Right. So, yeah, we know, girl. We know it was you. We do. Pretty friggin', you would have to figure out a way to prove to us that it wasn't. You would have to. You'd have to find a way, because you cry wolf so many times, the villagers ain't hearing. And now the wolf is coming out. And now you don't know what to do. Because the wolf is coming at you. It's coming at you. And now you're stuck, girlfriend. Now you're stuck. Anyways, guys, that's it for this. I wasn't going to make this a Chantal reaction channel, but I might do Chantal commentary. But that's basically the big story, all condensed into like, let's see if it'll show me. Usually, I don't know, it has shown me the amount I've recorded before, but it doesn't want to now. Anyway, so that's it for that. I will see you all in the next one. And yeah, don't do what Chantal does, okay? All right. Later, guys. Garbs.